Hello everyone, welcome to Saptapadi Vivaha Presents Gupshup with you. I am Dr. Vishal Sukhatankar. The quality of our thought will decide the quality of our life. When it comes to marriage, rejection, frustration, fear, anxiety, anger, resentments, all these are common outcomes for most alliances. And sometimes these negative emotions are so complex and intense that it can manifest a lot of problems on physical level. And that is why maintaining our mental and psychological health in a good condition is extremely important. So one of the effective remedies to achieve a good state of mind is Bach Flower Therapy. So today let us understand how flowers can change our thought patterns and hence the quality of our life from very knowledgeable Bach Flower Therapist Mr. Atul Sukhatankar Sir and Mr. Vishal Sukhatankar Sir. Atul Sukhatankar Sir is one of the senior and leading practitioners of Bach Flower Therapy in India. He has been conducting workshops and consults for the last 3 decades. He is the only Bach Flower Therapist in India who has been able to associate flower remedies with the healing vibrations and their frequencies. Mr. Vishal Sukhatankar. Vishal has been practicing and teaching Bach Flower Remedy for the past 7 years. In this time frame, Vishal has been able to handle cases ranging from couple relationship conflicts, anxiety disorder, depression and many more. He has also organized workshops for parents of children with special needs and also regularly conducts workshops for healers practicing alternative modalities, doctors and any other people who are keen to understand Bach Flower Remedy. So let's meet today's very special guest Atul Sir and Vishal Sir. Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to Saptapadi Vivaha.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's start our discussion.
Yes.
So my first question is, what is Bach Flower Remedy and how does it work?
Bach Flower Therapy was developed by Dr. Edward Bach.
Okay.
Now it's more than about 80 odd years.
Okay.
He felt basically, he was an allopath to begin with, but he felt that this form of medicine was lacking in some way. So he was looking for some alternative way of healing, and he felt that the nature does provide answers. So he left his successful practice and retreated into forests and started looking out for certain plants, flowers, trees as an answer to this. So he was a very sensitive person. So intuitively he could understand flowers. Maybe he could be talking the language of the plants and trees. Otherwise, I find it very difficult how he could understand.
Very true.
But that is what he did and gave us this therapy, which has now come into limelight over the years. Earlier when he was there, it was not so successful. It had not got so much of recognition. But now celebrities have started using it. People in offices, malls, this, that, all over the world, footballers, athletes, they have begun to use this therapy.
Okay.
So it has gained the prominence that it is gained today.
Okay.
How it works basically is that he found out that every human emotion has got an equivalent in with essence of flowers or plants or trees. So this therapy is basically all these natural ingredients only.
Okay.
There are no toxic or negative elements at all. It is purely natural.
Okay.
Only alcohol is there in that to kind of preserve the essence of healing.
Okay.
The healing essence is preserved in alcohol, so that is why alcohol is added to it.
Okay.
Otherwise, that is the best thing. He could correlate these, human emotion and which remedy suits that emotion.
Okay.
And that is how he effected cures.
Okay.
Because this was positively charged. Our human emotions are negative because it comes from a negative field altogether. So that is how it gave an answer, kind of addressed that problem.
Okay. So I want to know how flowers are related to human emotions.
So, as he rightly mentioned, that it's very difficult for a layman like us to, understand which flower is for which emotion, which Dr. Batch could fortunately do for us. But if you look at, the connection, if I have to say so, if you look at a plant or a flower, there is a flowering head, there is a stem, there are leaves by the side, and then there are roots.
Right.
And if you look at us as a human, if you see there is a chakra system,
Right.
and we have 1,000 petal lotus, as we say, the Sahasrara chakra.
Right.
And we have this body, you can call my hands as, leaves. And we have roots, which is, my feet. So that is what the relation could be. I can say that that's why it's affecting us so beautifully. Of course, which flower is for what emotion, for that you need to be, really evolved like Dr. Batch, where he could actually, he became so sensitive towards the flowers that he could just keep the, petals on his tongue and he could sense what emotions are triggering. And that's how the 38 flower modality is, designed. I think that's what the connection is between us and the flowers.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So individually he found out the answers which we do not know.
Okay.
But now, of course, you will have to go through that course, you will have to learn,
Right.
and then you will understand which flower. But as far as treatment is concerned, it is available to anybody. You can just have a consult with the therapist and they will give you the required remedies.
Okay. So in special cases like self-doubts or say trust issues due to bad breakups, how Bach Flower Therapy can help?
See, whenever it comes to trust issues or a bad breakup, what is the predominant emotion is where you are constantly dwelling in your past and you are perceiving life from the past experiences, So these emotions are somewhere trapped within us. So these emotions play a vital role, correct? So what Bach Flower Remedies they do is, they kind of energetically bring us back to the present, where we are.
Yeah.
So then you gauge the person who is in front of you, the new prospect is there, from a newer kind of a perception. You don't dwell on what happened in the past or this is what went wrong. So that's where the trust builds up and that's where the fear quotient goes down and you again build faith in yourself and in the process of marriage or in being in a relationship. So that's where Bach Flower Remedies will help a person to get them back to the present and look at the present scenario with a newer perspective. That's what it will
More
do.
on practical.
Yeah.
Correct.
Here, I would like to add one case study which I always quote.
Yes.
It was about a woman, who had come to me from Surat.
Okay.
And she and her mother-in-law never saw eye to eye. They had a lot of tiffs, fights. Every day was a tension-filled day. And she came and told me, sir, I have this problem which is there for last 10 years. I'm going through this stress. So, of course, after listening to her, I gave her those pills which look like, almost sago-like pills.
Okay.
So, homeopathy pills and liquid, which is colorless. So, externally, they don't look so attractive at all.
Right.
So, she looked at those pills and told me, sir, this sabudana pills, and this colorless liquid, you think it will erase 10 years of my stress and turmoil that I'm going through in life? And I said, there is no harm in trying. At least you try it and see.
Yeah.
And she was open to it, luckily. And she did. And then it so happened that she once called up and said, oh, I'm going through, I don't know why I'm weeping, why this is happening, that is happening. So that sometimes happens. There is some kind of turmoil, some kind of adjustments your body makes to allow those vibrations. And then after a month or 2 months, she was at the doorstep. She says, I want to hug you. So I said, what happened? So she said, look, I never thought what these pills and this could do. But today I have a totally different relationship with my mother-in-law.
Okay.
We go shopping together. We go for dinners and lunches together. She almost considers me as a daughter.
Okay.
So she
That's
has
great.
not,
That's great, wonderful.
yeah. So it is like, there was a total transformation and she was still wondering, see, my mother-in-law has not taken one pill from that, only I have taken. but there is a change in her. So how has this happened? So I said, that is what this therapy does, because when we change ourselves, the external situation also changes.
Yeah.
So it was nice to know that now they have a very cordial relationship, and that those problems get resolved like this.
Right.
Just as he said, our perceptions towards those situations change.
Yeah.
So what she was looking upon her maybe mother-in-law like an enemy has now become a friend.
Right.
So that whole perception
from
has
within.
changed.
Within.
Yeah.
Correct.
Change from within is the basic concept,
Right.
that we say life is inside out.
Right.
So no matter of external, whatever we do is not important at all. When we change within us, things automatically change around you.
Yeah.
That is how life works.
Wow.
And similarly, it will work in all relationships, not only mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, whatever relationship
Right,
it is.
right.
Yeah.
So it is going to work in the same way.
Yes. Now, coming to my core topic. So, when it comes to marriage, nowadays matrimonial search and rejections go hand in hand for most alliances. So, how Bach Flower Therapy can help such people?
See, basically, all humans are the same. And just as we are saying, it's all inside out.
Right.
So, we have certain, from our ego, we have what you call these shudder repulse, or these negativities.
Right.
Like anger, depression, frustration, jealousy. All these are creates turmoil in us. And we vibe with the people around us through them. They are like
Right.
filtering us. And it is this negativity which is reaching out to people around you. So naturally the reactions will be that bad also.
Right.
So it is very important that if we expect, to have no conflict, there should be no conflict within us also. This is how it works. This is the basic principle. If we are harmonious within us, if there is harmony or balance within us, you will automatically find balance outside.
Okay.
I tell you, in my initial days, I was a very angry person, and that time I never knew about this Bach therapy. So I used to keep on having fights with the bank person, somebody in the college, somebody. So this was a regular routine,
Okay.
and I used to sometimes wonder why these people are like that, why they are creating so much of chaos in my life and all
Okay.
that. Then when I started understanding Bach and started taking those remedies, one by one I saw that anger subsided.
Okay.
And as it subsided, I was not getting any person to have a fight with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they also disappeared. So there was nobody to fight, and that urge to fight had also lost its power.
Right.
So this is what happens with Bach. So this is how it improves relationships.
Okay.
We have a harmony composite also,
Okay.
which tries to harmonize you from within,
Okay.
and that also has got results. But I wouldn't say that we should just stick to this. Maybe have a consult with a therapist,
Okay.
get to understand our inside, which we ourselves don't know.
Right.
Somebody else has to sometimes point it out to us.
Yes, because when it comes to marriage, why rejection is coming, they need
Yes.
to understand
Also, another thing about
Yeah.
rejection I would add over here is, sometimes we need to let go of a few things. So,
Right,
as he rightly mentioned about ego, if you look at it from the ego perspective, we think, oh, I got rejected. But sometimes, the right match is not there, If it's not for you, it's not for you. We may have a few, ideas in the box that I want my partner to be XYZ. But even getting after that XYZ, there is no cordial relationship or happy relationship because it's still, there is something amiss.
Right.
So when you let go of your resistance and, kind of wait for the right thing to appear, you are much more at peace. That's what the remedies will also do for you.
Right.
So this is the inward resistance also, and a conflict or some negative things within us that is not allowing that thing to materialize in the way you want it.
Right.
That is what we have to realize. This is a difficult lesson for all, It's not easy to understand, but this is how life works eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How Bach Flower Therapy can solve couple conflicts?
It's all inside out, I say. So conflict is within us. It is not out there. Because See, what you are seeing externally is the reflection of what is there internally. This we have to understand.
Right.
Like suppose you are walking down a street and you are very hungry. Now, are you going to see the barber shop, the cloth shop, the
Definitely
potters,
not.
or only the hotels
Right.
or food items which are kept there? Naturally, you will be only looking at those shops and which will feed your hunger.
Right.
Same applies to life. So if we carry conflict within us, that conflict in us will keep on looking out for people who will have conflicts in them.
Okay.
And they will kind of appear around us and we'll have more of this angry give and takes.
Right.
So first thing we have to do is to resolve it within us, to understand that we are the one who is kind of throwing out that into the universe. It is not the other way around. We keep on pointing fingers at X, Y, Z, but that is not how it is. The first finger you should point out is to yourself. Yeah. Once you do that, there is a lot of learning, there is a lot of understanding, there's a lot of wisdom comes in.
Very true.
And then life takes a different kind of look. The whole look of life
Right.
changes.
Right.
And when you always feel that the other person is responsible, there is no learning, and whole life you may keep on pointing fingers at others, but there is no change happening.
Right.
Nothing gets sorted out.
I also call it as the domino effect, when there are dominoes stacked up, the one falls and then there is a chain reaction.
Right, right.
That one needs to fall inside over here. We need to flip it, we need to change our whatever doubts, conflicts, whatever fear, anger, anxiety we have. And we see the outside also changing around.
Right.
That's what Bach Remedies has helped us understand, and many others also.
Right. Right.
When Edward Bach had found those remedies, he had also stated that when the emotion degenerates, it generally degenerates into a disease.
Okay.
That's why anger will always affect your liver.
Okay.
Yeah. Fear will always affect your kidneys. So it's almost there is an equation which emotion affects which system of the body. Why? Because they are at the same frequency. This organ and this remedy,
Right.
or that emotion is at the same frequency. So this frequency aspects clears that. And further, when we have gone into our research, we are the only ones who are doing this kind of research, I would say, globally.
Okay.
Yeah. Because all have considered Bach essences as flower essence and given them the importance up to that level. But we have gone further. We have seen that they have frequencies. The frequencies are certain vibrations. And many a times the vibrations are actually curing us.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is not like a general cure where you take a pill, it goes into your stomach, goes into your bloodstream, and then changes you or brings about a change. It's not like that. We keep these pills or that thing on our tongue, and the vibrations from that go upwards towards your brain. They hobnob with your pineal gland, pituitary, hippocampus, all that, and the messages are then sent down your spine.
Okay.
And that is how they reach your blood or the organ concerned. So this whole approach is different. It is not like Ayurveda or allopathy or even homeopathy.
Okay.
This is something totally different. So that's why it is more based on frequencies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there is a language of frequency which the brain understands. Brain doesn't understand our spoken word. There is always encode and decode happening.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have developed one composite which I think will be a major one. We have so many others which you can feature on this thing, which we have developed for various purposes. But this core connect is because we find that those vibrations that go into us or within us, the lot of blockages are around our core, which is somewhere here near the navel.
Okay.
It's called hara in some understanding as hara.
Okay.
So around that, first these blockages go and sit there, and from there kind of they are directed to different organs. And
Okay.
so if we are clear around our hara or the core center, lot of clarity comes in our life,
Okay.
and lot of diseases, because we have seen that diseases move from there, the disease starts actually. It is the lowest center from where it takes the root of disease. So once that is cleared, and of course there are various other ways of clearing also. Through pranayam you can do pranayam, through yogasanas some way, but this is a direct method.
Okay.
So that core will get cleansed. As it gets cleansed, people have been able to see more clarity. They have been able to know what is the purpose of their life. They know what their life is directed for. So a lot of such things have happened with this remedy, and that is why I feel that it also clears your those disease blockages.
Okay.
So
It is
that
core connect.
core connect.
Core
Yeah.
connect. Okay.
So it is like we are connecting to our core basically,
Okay.
and once that connect happens, there is something that shifts around our universe also.
Okay.
It is that way because our core is the same as the universe.
Right.
So only because there is lot of dust or grime settled there in the form of blockages,
Right.
we are not able to connect, and we all the time feel that we have to connect externally. It is not like that. It is like the deer, it has the what you call
Essence.
the essence, the
Fragrance,
aroma,
fragrance.
the fragrance in its navel.
Right.
Yet it goes running all over the place searching for it. It doesn't realize that it is right there.
Right.
So for us also in this field, we have realized that it's the same for humans. We have this core in us which has to be cleansed, and then we get connected to the external world, or else no matter how much hard we try, it's not going to happen.
Very true. One last question, Atul sir, I want to ask you. Your valuable suggestion to prospective brides and grooms and newly married couples for their happy and healthy, peaceful married life.
See, this whatever you have said, Sat Chit Anand
Okay.
is what you have basically said. Sat means the truth, Chit means wisdom and love, and Anand means happiness.
Happiness.
So all these three things are in us already. When I said the core, it contains these three things with us already. But we are not conscious of it. We don't make efforts to let it grow, because we think our happiness in getting more money is happiness, getting to this hotel is our happiness, going to this resort is our happiness. That is not, because sometimes you go and enjoy all that, you go to states for a travel and then you come back and say, oh, I'm not so happy. So it is this core that we have to look into, whether it's bridegrooms, and they have to find out, how we can build up this, what we have been given essentially, Satchitanand. We have to build it in ourselves, because as I said, when we are happy, the whole world looks happy.
Right.
When we are peaceful, the whole world is peaceful. So how we can develop this? Of course, these remedies will help us cleanse, but some effort has to be put in by us also
Okay.
to develop those qualities in us. So
Right.
that is what we say is soul qualities which we have to develop. And once we develop them, whole world, I can assure you, changes for you. Whole world changes for you. So you come from there and see the difference. That's what I would tell them. Don't try to keep on looking outside,
Right.
So that's all.
Very informative. I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for the information you have shared with all of us. And thank you so much once again from
Thanks
the
a lot.
entire
Thank
team
you
of
also.
Thank you to you for
Saptapadi Vivaha.
having us.